we're going to be having together. I'm really excited about this time. I'm excited because it is going to be another interesting class. All right. Are you ready for it? All right. A couple of weeks ago, I treated a topic during the branding conference. All right. I treated the theme of the conference was building a value-driven brand. Right. And I thought to myself, why don't I teach it again? All right. It's for the benefit of those of you that were not able to attend. And so that's the reason why I'm doing this. And I would like you to go through this with an open mind. For the purpose of meeting me, my name is Simon Matthew. They call me the king of branding because I help people build globally profitable and relevant brand. And the core of my assignment is to help your brand become profitable and become globally relevant. Because if you are globally relevant and you're not profitable, it's just a matter of time. All right, so that's the reason why I am here. All right, and so just see this as also one of the things that, as part of my mission or as part of my assignment, to help you become the brand that you should be. Do you understand? So it's very, very important. So like I said, we're going to be looking at a very important title, building a value-driven brands. So, I want you to understand that there are loads of brands out there. There are loads of brands out there doing incredible things. Either be it at the individual or at an organization or corporate level. There are loads of brands out there doing amazing things. All right. There are loads of brands out there doing amazing things. But the truth of the matter is that in as much as they are doing amazing things, not all of them are value driven. Not all of them are value driven. Not all of them can be said to be that successful. Not all of them can be said to be that successful. While some are successful, some others aren't. While some are successful, some others aren't. And the question is why? That's what we're going to be looking at today. Because the truth of the matter is that we have various types of success. We have the success that are legitimately gotten and the ones that are not legitimately gotten. We have successes that will stand the test of time, and we have successes that can be classified as temporal success. But what the essence of my outing or the essence of the teaching this at this time is to help you begin to record the success that will not just last, but would outlive you. Because until your success outlive you, or until the successes that you are pursuing to achieve, until they outlive you, they cannot be said to be a quality success. Do you understand? So that is the reason why I'm doing this today, and I trust that you are going to get value at the end of the day. All right, at the end of the day. So it's a teaching. So of course, I have my teaching material before me, and so that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you see me consulting and checking, know that it is all for good, and it is to be able to help you succeed. Do you understand? Very important. Now, I want you to understand that one of the ingredients every forward brand should have is that desire to succeed. Every forward thinking or brands that desires to become globally profitable and relevant, one ingredient, one element that they should have is that element of the desire to succeed, because it is that desire that will push you. Is that desire that will propel you? Is that desire that would influence, or that will instigate, or that will motivate you towards waking up every day and doing the things that you need to do for you to succeed? Is very important. And so whether at an individual level or at a corporate level, it's very important that that element must be in you if you desire to not just have a brand, but a brand that would outlive you. So the very first place to start with is that desire to succeed. That desire to succeed. It's very important. Because why is success important? It is important because it shows that you're making progress. It shows that growth is in place. Because one of the rewards or one of the results of growth is success. One of the reward or the result of growth is success. Do you understand? One of the reward or the result of growth is success. If you're not achieving success, it shows that something is amiss. Because it's like the case of a student who sits for an exam. If they don't pass the exams, it shows that something isn't right with their preparation. Because if you prepare well, then you should be able to record some level of success. You understand, at passing whatever subject or whatever course it is that you are actually taking or doing. So it's very, very important. All right. So it shows that you are making progress. And it's also a proof that you're growing as a brand. It is also a proof that you are making progress. It's very important. Very important. Then it also serves as the bedrock. It also serves as the bedrock for the pursuit of further success. What does this mean? It also serves as the motivating factor. It serves as the motivating factor, all right, that would motivate you towards achieving further success. And that is why it's very important that you do all you can to succeed. To do all you can to succeed. All right? That's why it's important that you do all you can to succeed. All right? So, the truth of the matter is that the moment as a business you stop pursuing actualizing success, the moment you stop chasing successes at the different deals or the different things you are pursuing, it shows that something about your brand is beginning to die. It shows that something about your brand is beginning to die. Because what success does is that success is a proof that something is being pursued. Success is also a proof that you're making progress. Success is also a proof that you're growing. Do you understand? This is a build up towards is build up towards somewhere. So please follow me carefully. All right, because it's going to be an amazing ride. All right, it's going to be an amazing ride. So having said that, now I want you to understand that the quest for success is a universal thing. The quest for success is a universal quest. The quest for success is a universal quest. Because one of the things at the back of most business people, one thing you will find at the back of most business people or most startups or somebody who is starting out a business, whether the person is in Asia or is in Africa or is in Europe or is in America, one thing at the back of their mind is that desire to succeed. That desire to succeed is that desire to be able to grow to a point where they have several branches and all of those things. When you engage them, when you sit and you engage with them, the reason why they have the plans, the strategies and all of those things is for them to succeed. You understand? So it is a universal quest. So if you are thinking about success and someone in Africa, for example, and somebody somewhere in Asia is thinking about success, don't see it as something that is strange. See it as something that is universal. See it as something that is peculiar to other people. All right. So it is a universal thing. So it becomes an abnormality, right? If you are not thinking of succeeding as a business, it becomes an abnormality. It becomes something very, very, very strange. But the fact of the matter is that what kind of success do you want to achieve? What kind of success do you want to achieve? It's a question you need to answer. What kind of brand, what kind of success do you want to achieve? Do you want to achieve a temporal success, or do you want to achieve something that is long lasting, that you can that would even outlive you? There are some brands who are said to have been successful. There are some other brands who are said to have been not just successful, but they have outlived their founders or some of their founders. Do you understand? So there are several of them out there. There are several of them out there. Steve Jobs, who happens to be one of the founding fathers of Apple, is no longer in existence, but Apple is still waxing stronger and stronger, to the point where Apple entered into our radar. Apple entered into my radar when doing my research, before doing my research for this particular teaching or this particular training. Do you understand? So that is how important. That is the kind of success you should pursue. Pursue the kind of success that will outlive you. That too is what will make the difference. The way you are going to pursue that kind of success will be different from the way you're going to pursue the success that you just won off. You understand? So the kind of success you want to achieve will determine the way you're going to pursue it. Your pursuit and the way you are going about it can reflect or can tell the kind of success that you want to achieve, whether long lasting or something temporal. Do you understand? Very, very important. Now, the question I want to ask you is, what kind of brand do you want to build? Let's now come. Now that we have established the fact that it is important for brands to pursue success, because building a brand, you understand, and success are inseparable. You understand? Because the essence of even building a brand is for you to be able to succeed at something. You understand? So they are inseparable. So what kind of brand do you want to build? What kind of brand do you want to build? Now, for you to have an idea, for you to have an idea of the kind of brand you need to do, you need to quickly do this diagnosis. You need to quickly do this check. Number one check is your brand objectives. What kind of objectives do you have as a brand? What objectives do you have? What are your objectives? What are the elements that make up your objective? It will give us an idea of the kind of brand you are looking at building. That's number one. Number two is the features of the core values. What actually dominates? What makes up your core values? What are some of the things you hold as your core value? It will give us an idea of the kind of brand that you're actually building. Number three is your mode of operations. The way you operate can tell us if the kind of brand you're building is something that is worth it or something that isn't worth it. All right. That's number three. Number four is your customer relationship. How you relate to your customers, how you relate to your clients can tell us, do you treat them well or do you treat them anyhow? It can tell us the kind of brand you are actually building. Then the type of vision that you run your business by, the type of vision that you run your brand by can tell us. And by looking at all of the things I've mentioned earlier, you have an idea of the kind of brand you're building. Is this something that will be long lasting or something that will be short lived? Is it something that would outlive you or something that will be short lived? Do you understand? All of these 5 key questions, all of these 5 key elements are things you need to properly check. And the details of these elements will tell the kind of brand that you are building. Now, like I said, I did a research. All right, and my research is focused on the top global, most valuable brands based on the market valuation. Top global brands based on the market valuation. And it will interest you to know what I found out. All right. It interests you to know what I found out. And to me, to an extent, it is not a surprise. I decided to do 10. I decided to do the most global, and I found 10. All right. But my teaching will be restricted to the first 5. All right. I will make an allusion to maybe the others, but my focus will be on the first 5, the first 1 to 5. All right. And it will be interesting what I found out about them. So follow me. Let's continue this amazing journey. The first has to be Microsoft. And in case you're wondering, okay, what year was this? This is just something that's very recent. I think this report was put together by Forbes. All right, by Forbes. You understand? Forbes India. You understand? The top global brands based on market valuation. And Forbes India gave me a 2024 rating. So this is like the most recent 2024 rating. The first is Microsoft. The value of Microsoft, the market value based on the market valuation of Microsoft, it's put at $3.05 trillion, and they are in the tech industry. And Microsoft was started by Bill Gates and Paul Allen in 1975. And going by the year it came into existence, it has existed now for over 40 years. And the second has to do with Apple. Apple's market valuation is put at $2.889 trillion. $2.889 trillion, right? And it is also within the tech industry, it plays within the tech industry. And it was started by Steve Wozniak, Ronald Wayne, and Steve Jobs in 1976. And going by that number of years, it's over 40 years in existence. And the third has to do with Saudi Aramco. It's an oil and gas industry that's also interested in also energy, other sorts of energy as well. And their market valuation is put at $1.997 trillion. Then the fourth is Alphabet. Alphabet's market valuation is put at $1.841 trillion. It's also plays within the tech industry. The tech industry, as it was started in 2015, which is about more than 8 years in existence. However, Alphabet acquired Google, that has existed for over 25 years, all right, plus YouTube and as well as others, all right. So then the fifth is Amazon. Amazon's valuation is put at $1.790 trillion, and it plays within the e-commerce industry. It was started in July 16, 1995, and it's about 29 years old, 29 years in existence. All right. But I didn't just stop there. Now, the essence of doing this is for the purpose of statistics, to give you insight into why they are the most valuable according to the market. All right. But I didn't just stop there. I probed further to find out the secret behind their success, because the truth of the matter is that it is it's an act of wisdom to find out what others are doing. When you're able to what others are doing, especially those who have succeeded or those who are succeeding, it's only an act of wisdom to be able to find out. And personally, beyond just praising people when I see them succeed at something, I'm also interested in wanting to find out the reason behind their success, or what contributed, or what is the reason, or what were the factors that helped them succeed. And here are some of the things I found out about these brands. One of the first thing I found out about them, and when I talk about them, because I had to do like an individual research, all right, individual research for each of them. All right, individual research for each of them. The secret behind their successes, I had to do individual research. And what I'm about to reel out to you is something that I found out that is peculiar to the 5 of them. peculiar to the five of them. The very first thing, and these things are things that would help you begin to build a value-driven brand. If you want to build a globally valuable brand, then you must begin to pay attention to building a value-driven brand. Begin to build a value-driven brand. It's very, very important. It's non-negotiable as far as this is concerned. All right. So, having said this, let's get into it. The secrets behind their success. Number one has to do with now, did I even mention? I didn't mention that Saudi Aramco is over 90 years in existence. It's over 90 years in existence. So what this underscores is the fact that it underscores the point I made earlier about success. There are some successes that are short-lived, and there are some successes that have spanned the test of time. You understand? For Google to have been in existence to the point where Alphabet is able to see it and able to buy it, and for YouTube and the rest of them, it shows that they weren't building to be short-lived, but they were building something that would outlive them. You understand? Though Apple was founded by 3 people, one person is no more, but Apple is still waxing strong to the point where, as of 2024, Apple entered into the first 5 most valuable, according to the market, globally speaking, brands. You understand? That has entered into the $trillion zones. That shows that it isn't playing. So what were the secrets? Number one, what are the secrets? Number one is that they are customer driven. They are customer driven. Most of them, they invest, according to my research, they invest in researching products that customers would need. Some of them invest in researching what customers need or what customers would need. You understand? They invest so much money into researching what customers would need, and they pay close attention to data, the data that they're able to generate. They also pay attention. They invest heavily in researching their customer behavior and the things that they need. So they are customer driven. They are customer driven. They are customer driven. Is very, very important. If you want to build something that would outlive you, you need to be customer driven and not just your business driven, not just being business driven, but customer driven. Number two thing I found that was peculiar with all of them is the fact that continuous innovation. They are not the type who just do innovation once and they just go to sleep, like what some people do. You need to be constantly bringing, constantly renewing what you do. You need to be constantly on the go. You need to constantly be on the lookout for how best you can put together your product, how best you can put together your service. It's very important. They are constantly renovating to ensure that whatever solution it is that they are putting out there is something that is relevant and up to date. And that can be able to solve the issues that people are going through right away. The relevant and up to date. Very important. Another very interesting thing is that diversification. One thing about them is that they have diversified into several other things. They are not known for just having a particular product alone. They for those who are into tech, they've diversified into other areas of tech. Those who are into production of smartphone, like Apple, for example, they've also diversified into doing of accessories and other products like your iMac and the rest of them, so that should a customer not need an iPhone, they may be needing an iMac, a MacBook. If they don't have need for a MacBook, they may be needing an iPad. They don't have need for, what about the accessories? You understand? So they've diversified into other areas. For Alphabet, they've diversified as well. What about Amazon? They've also diversified into several other areas, all right, of operations. You understand? So that they can be able to serve their customers better because they are customer driven. You understand? So long as they are customer driven, they always pay attention to what the customer needs. what the customer needs are, and they find a way. And very interestingly, talking about Saudi Aramco, I stumbled on something very interesting, that they've also built a filling station. All right, if a filling station on that is on the sea. You understand? On the top of I think on a sea, or on the top of the water, and filling station. You understand? So they want to, as much as possible, serve those that are their customers. They want to do all they can to serve them. So that is one of their secrets. And that's why they've been in existence for that long. Do you understand? Diversification. So if you want to be a brand that is value driven, you need to diversify. Don't be the type that just say, oh, it's just only one product that I sell, and that is it. All right. So apart from that, the reliability and their reputation, they pay very good attention to what their reputation is out there. And this is where branding comes in. You understand? You can't be talking about building a value-driven brand if you don't pay attention to your branding. Your branding has to do with the reputation that is of yourself out there, has to do with the credibility that you have out there, and as well as being reliable and all of those things. Then apart from that, excellence. Excellence is one thing I found out. Excellence. Most of their services and products are excellent. Are excellent. Are excellent. If you want to use your search engines and you make any query, they want to ensure that it gives you nothing but the best of results. You understand? You are using their products. They want to ensure that it is nothing but the best. So excellence. Apart from that, also, because they are investing in researching, some of them have succeeded in going ahead to preempt what the customers would be needing or may be needing in the nearest future. That's why some of them have succeeded before others are talking about AI. They've already brought out their own AI search engines and the rest of them. Do you understand? So they are always ahead. You understand? Then, of course, strong leadership. You can't talk about building a value-driven brand if you have a weak leadership. If you have a weak leadership structure, you understand? A weak leadership structure, you have a docile leadership structure, because all of those things, the innovation, diversification, the excellence, and all of these things, they are all going to be driven by leaders that have both quality and that also are strong. You understand? That's strong and very proactive. You understand? If you have all of this, if you have the intention of doing all of these things, and you have a weak leader, that may not be able to happen. That is why the kind of leadership that exists in your organization will determine whether or not your desire to build a value-driven and valuable brand, whether it will be actualized or not. It's very, very important. So having said all of these things, let's now move straight into the characteristics of a value-driven brand. The characteristics of a value-driven brand. Number one is that they are customer satisfaction focused. Very important. They are ease of reach. They are ease of reach, and of course ease of redress. If there's any need for a redress, they can be easily reached, and because they can be easily reached, the matter can be easily resolved. All right, the matter can be easily resolved. Very important. Then aside that, also value driven and not just money driven. If all that you are interested in as a brand or as a business is just to make profit, then you don't fit into this category at all. Another thing also is strict adherence to quality and set standards. Then flexibility in operations. You're very flexible. You're not the type who makes some statement like, we have produced it, and there is nothing we can do about it. No, you should be flexible enough to be able to do certain things. If the reason why you do something is not achieving the result, then you need to do something about it. All right, you need to do something about it. It's very, very important. Do you understand? So very, Very important. Then apart from that, also, it's also recession, pandemic, and advancement proof. How do I mean by this? You understand? It is the kind of brand that whether there's a recession or whether there are pandemics or whether there are advancement in technology, it will not negatively affect it. Not negatively affect it. That is why I said it should be flexible in operations. If it is flexible in operations, it will be able to quickly make adjustments, as against just that the board members must meet physically, or that the team members must meet physically, or departmental heads must meet physically. You understand? Flexibility in operations means that they could meet virtually to be able to. In fact, that is even cost effective. That is even if all the parties involved are a bit tech savvy, they can be able to be more productive and more effective. Do you understand? So it's very important. Then if they are if it's the kind of brand that is flexible in operation, that has flexibility in operations, they will be able to say, you know what, let's get what area can technology help us? Are you getting my point? So all of these things are important. Then aside that, also it's also relevance. Relevance. Very, very important. Again, I ask you, what kind of brand do you want to build? What kind of brand do you want to build? Is it a money-driven brand or a value-driven brand? Is it a brand that will be short-lived or a brand that will outlive you? That will outlive you. I want you to understand that the brand that would do exploit is not the one that is just whose passion revolves around making money, but it is one whose passion revolves around solving problems, whose passion revolves around giving value or making value available to its customers or its clients. With customers or its clients. I want you to understand this fact that if you make solving people's problems your priority, you would also make money and live long. That's what most people don't. That's the secret most people don't get, even though it's an open secret. Most people think that all we just need to do is to work hard. Let's make all the money that we need to make. You understand? Let's make all the money that we need to make. And I say, no, that's not how it should be. All right. What should happen is, why don't you make solving people's problems your primary goal? When you make solving people's problems your primary goal, money making becomes easier, because when people see value in what you're presenting to them, they won't find it difficult. In fact, they would gladly offer you their money. Or gladly offer you their money. The reason why people are finding it difficult to offer you their money is because they've not seen value in what you're giving out. They've not seen value in what you're giving out. Do you understand? So if you are driven by pursuit for money as a business, you will keep pursuing the money. You may be getting some, but you're building nothing. But if you make solving people's problems your major pursuit, or the reason for your pursuit, people will in turn reward you with their money. That is the way it works. All right. So 10 things you can do to be able to build a value-driven brand. If you want to build a value-driven brand, then you need to consider these 10 things. Number 1, be people-focused. It shouldn't be just about you alone. In fact, the essence of being in business, the reason why you're in business is about people. It's about serving people. But that's what most people don't understand. They will get to a point where they begin to feel that they are doing people favor. No. It's a mutually beneficial kind of arrangement. It's a mutually beneficial kind of relationship, right? I'm not doing a favor to you, you're not doing a favor to me. We're all in this in it to be able to help one another. All right. So be people focused. And being people focused is that your services and the way you tailor them would be tailored towards solving their needs. It not just be something that they would have to rack their head to be able to use your solutions. No, it should be as easily accessible and usable as possible. Do you understand? That's number one. Number two is build a good reputation. Branding is very important. People think that branding is all about aesthetics, all about you having something like this, king of branding. They think that is all branding is about. No, branding is also about the experience you give people, about how people perceive your actions, your attitudes. It's very important. What kind of reputation do you have out there? You need to build a good reputation. And in doing this, you need to be very deliberate about it. All right. It's very, very important. So what investments are you doing toward making what investment are you making in your branding? What investments? It's a huge investment you must make anyways. You need to, because it is something that should be deliberately done. What kind of reputation do you want people to have about you? Do you want people to have a reputation of excellence about you, or do you want to have people to have that this person is just a carefree person? So whatever it is, you need to invest in deliberately branding towards the objective that you have for doing it. All right. So the third has to do with solution-oriented products and services. All right. Aside luxury items, and I need to say this very carefully. Aside luxury items, which is something that people buy to maybe show off. All right, to maybe show off this class thing that, we've arrived. And because we've arrived, I need to use the latest iPhone, for example. Because I've arrived, I need to use the latest Mac system. I know because I've arrived, I need to use the latest car, maybe a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce. Aside luxury items, the reason why people buy products or people buy service is to be able to solve a problem. Is to be able to help them solve the challenge that they have. Is to be able to help them go through life. It's part of what would help them go through life. For example, I got toothpaste. All right, the essence of getting toothpaste is to be able to brush my teeth to ensure that my breath is fresh, is good, to also ensure that my teeth are safe. You understand? Are safe and protected from all the germs and all the things. You understand? The reason why that's also a challenge, right? That's also a challenge. How would you feel that maybe you reach out to me and say, "Oh, hi Simon," and we maybe hug, and I just said something, and come on, and unfortunately to you, my mouth is very close to your nose. You can imagine that kind of picture, and what is coming out is something that is pleasant. All right. You understand? So the essence of wearing a perfume is to be able to smell nice. You understand? To also help keep the environment scent and lovely. All right. So aside luxury items, the reason why people buy products or services is to be able to solve problems, to be able to meet a challenge, to be able to advance their lives. But if the product or the service is not doing that, it cannot be said to be a solution-oriented product. So, because there are some products out there that are not result-oriented, especially the ones who promise that they are going to solve a particular problem and they are not solving it. They are rather complicating the issue. Like not too long ago, the government of Nigeria, through one of the agencies, are calling back a particular brand's products. Do you understand? They're calling it back. And the product, unfortunately, has been in existence for over 5 years. They're calling it back because it is harming children other than solving the problem for which that product was said to have been produced for. Do you understand? So it's very, very important. So solution-oriented. The third thing has to be strategic diversification. And being strategic means that for every customer or every client that walks into your business or that comes to you, all right, you pay attention to their needs. Personally, there are some solutions that I created by virtue of what I had. They are called customized solutions, custom-made solutions. You understand? It may just be for that client alone and not for anybody else. You understand? But if you are not strategic, if you're not strategic enough, you may not be, if you're not strategic and if you're not paying attention to the needs that are being presented, you may not be able to see these needs and also feel the need to provide a solution to it. Because for them to have come to you, for them to have been presented to you, if they are not solved by you, they will be solved by somebody. And the person that it will be solved by will make the money. And the downside to this is that if that person also offers something similar that they came to you for in the first instance, chances are that they would carry everything all together and do it like a bundle for that person to solve, and you will lose them. That is why you need to be very proactive. You need to pay attention. Very important. You need to strategically diversify. Also pay attention to the buying power of your audience, of your audience. All right. There are some who can afford products or services within the maybe $1,000 range. There are some who can only afford $500 range. There are some who can only afford $200 range. There are some who can only afford $100 range. So you need to have a way of getting products across the spectrum, across these categories, so that those who are for $100 can be able to get something for $100. Those who are for $5,000 can be able to get something for $5,000, like in that manner. So that way you are not leaving monies on the table, or you're not allowing money slip away from you. Does this make sense? Is somebody learning something? All right. If you're learning something, please let me know in the comments section. All right. So moving forward. So strategic diversification. Another thing is continuous innovation and creativity. So it's very important that for you to keep innovating. And you cannot innovate if you're not flexible. You cannot innovate if you don't pay attention to what is happening around you. That is the problem with most business people. Most business people don't pay attention to what is happening around them. Most of them feel that, oh, people must come to me and they must be very categorical about their solutions, their problems. Some persons may not be able to present to you vividly their challenge, but if you pay attention, you can be able to call those challenges what they are, and all that these people will do is just to concur. So yes, that is the challenge. Are you following what I'm saying? There are instances where I put out an offer in a certain way, it didn't fly, right? Instead of me to, like what some people would do, just give up, I would try to coin it, tweak it into another form, and still present that same thing. And guess what? Sometimes it works. If it doesn't work, I will keep retweaking, keep changing, keep retweaking, keep changing until that particular solution is sold. You understand? Especially when I'm convinced that people need it. You understand? Or especially when I know that there's a need for it. Do you understand? So very, very important. So apart from that, also, it's very important for you to continue to innovate. That is the reason why you see that once in a while your app would ask you to update it. That's because those who created it and those guys working behind the scene are working, maybe paying attention to what people are complaining about, and they're adding those features or removing features that people are complaining against, and all of those things. So once in a while they'll keep prompting you to update, and when you update, you will discover that the experience is really better. But sometimes when you update and the experience is not better, sometimes they complain and they will recall, or they will just take off those features and ask you and prompt you to re-update. By the time you re-update this, so you need to constantly be very creative about what you do. You understand? Very creative about what you do. Even if you run a program, maybe it's something that you do at intervals. Don't do two programs the same way. I run a monthly business meeting. All right. One of the things I try not to do is to use the same approach. That's why I introduce different topics. All right. Introduce different topics. My flyers are not usually the same. They may have similar elements, but different colors, different concepts. Do you understand? So that you have something new, something fresh. People want to see that this person is creative. Do you understand? So it's important. Then operate with the culture of excellence is also very important. Operate with the culture of excellence. Go out of your way to do something extraordinary. Don't just present it like every other person presents their goods, their products. Present it with class. If you are into cloth making, instead of just doing a branded nylon and just folding them neatly and put into, why not do like a box with your signature on it, and you neatly, why not even dry clean the cloth and you neatly package it? Maybe you add a nice lovely perfume to it and you present it. Just do something different from what other people are doing. That is what excellence is about. And excellence is also about paying attention to every details. Every details. If you're a graphic designer, you pay attention to every detail that was sent to you, not the one that a detail will be missing or something will not be properly arranged or something will not be placed properly. It's very important. So excellence, operate with the culture of excellence and let it go across board. If you have members of staff or you have a team you work with, let them operate with the culture of excellence. What about incorporating technology in your business's operations? Incorporating technology in your business operations is very, very important. You need to incorporate it. Incorporate technology into your business's operation if you want to succeed. It's very, very important. Because what you don't know is that if you don't do that, you may be missing out on a whole lot of things. Incorporating means that you as part of your operations, you find what technology can do for you. Now, for example, if you are into sales of products and services, technology has already made means of payment now easily cashless. Right? A lot of persons now prefers to go out without cash because of the security situations and other considerations as well. Some of them, if they have cash in their pockets, chances are that they will just keep buying, and most people would not want that. So they want to find a way to just keep selling things. And some persons may want to spend, even if it is 1 cent that they have, they want to have it in their account. And because of that, they will prefer to pay you with their cards. You understand? Then you are there, you don't have a point of sales machine. I mean, you don't have that. Or you don't have an account that transfers can be made into. And what I see that is even interesting and mind boggling and disturbing is that some persons will tell you, I don't have my bank's app. I don't understand. So because of that, I'm not able to confirm transfers. Guess what? For those of you in Nigeria, when the pandemic happened, people in that category, they lost customers. They lost customers to those who had point of sales, to those who are able to confirm payments. And in fact, those who had point of sales were helping those who don't have to collect. And at the end, I think they also collect some commission. Imagine that. Or for your marketing, you're not doing anything online about letting more people know what you do. You're just relying on your conventional offline marketing. It can be limiting. Excuse me. So it can be limiting. So you need to pay attention to that. Incorporate technology. Technology has come to stay, so you know. It has come to stay. And those who would incorporate technology into their operations are the ones who would always have an edge over the others. Do you understand? So it's very important. Then, apart from that, also create and work with ethical and people-focused core values. Ethical, people-focused core values. There are some core values that are not ethical. Some are not ethical. Like making money at all costs is not ethical. Meaning that even if it means cheating people, I need to make money. No. It should be people focused. When you adopt excellence as part of your core value, it shows that you are people focused. It shows that you care about all those that are coming to you. It shows that you care about them. So because of that, you don't want to give them anything less. You don't want to give them anything less. Does that make sense? So it's very important. So you do that. Very, very important. You do that. And of course, you should be able to inspire people. You should be able to inspire people. All right. Your core value should be able to inspire people to want to do things excellently. Because if you show me the elements on your core value, I can tell you the kind of brand you are trying to build. I can tell you what kind of brand your brand would grow to become. So it's very important. And you need to also be customized. Your core values should also be customizable. It shouldn't be like every other. It shouldn't be like, oh, because I saw excellence somewhere, integrity somewhere, I want to now adopt it. No, you can be something different. And who says that your core values must be something long? No, it can be just one or two lines. That's all. Meaning 2 words. Do you understand? 2 words or 2 sentences. That's all. It could be that. Something that is applicable, that resonates with you, something that you would live by. Very important. Apart from that, you need to also run an open door policy. And running an open door policy means that you are the type who is not you're the type who has not built fences around you, especially as a CEO. That's trying to see you is like trying to see God. No. Even God himself is now dwelling amongst us. If you don't believe it, no problem. All right. I'm saying this to those who believe it. If you don't believe it, that's fine. You understand? But you shouldn't build fences around you. Don't be the type of CEO that is not reachable. Don't be the type of leader that cannot be reached, or that people dread going to. No. Run an open door policy. If you run an open door policy, if you are the type who is receptive, who is accommodative, who is willing to open the doors when people knock, you'll be amazed at the things that people will tell you. Amazing things that people will tell you. Suggestions they will make. Be open. Running an open door policy means that you're also open to ideas. You are open to ideas on how things can be done better. If you pay attention, you would even have ideas on the next product that you need to make, or the adjustments that you need to make on your product so that you can be able to skyrocket your sales. Are you catching the drift? So it's very important. All right. To run an open door policy. Then be futuristic. Be futuristic. If you want to build a value-driven brand, you need to be proactive. You shouldn't wait until people start requesting for a particular thing. Once you see that people's request is tilting towards a direction, pay attention to where that direction is leading to, and start working something. Start doing something towards it. Pay attention to the market. Pay attention to the market. Now, one of the things that seems as if Apple is ahead in their industry is because they are futuristic. They pay attention to trends. They pay attention to where the market is tilting towards. And what they do is they create solutions for that future that the market is tilting towards. And that's the reason why they will keep having edge over other people. Do you understand? So it's very, very important. The world is looking for brands that are not just interested in taking their monies, but are interested in giving them value. Interested in giving them value. So, for you to be able to build a strong brand, this is like an addition now. For you to be able to build a strong brand, you need to consider this. You need to consider this. Number one, brand identity. What kind of identity do you want people to give your brand? What kind of identity? You need to define it. See, if you don't define your identity, people will give you any name. Are you getting my point? Personally speaking, there was a place I used to live in, or we used to live in. All right, they gave me a particular name because they don't know my name. Imagine that I told them my name and I keep echoing and re-echoing my name. They won't be calling me that. Even it's not a bad name, but then I have a name that they call that I go by. Do you understand? So, what identity? What kind of identity do you want? What kind of identity does your brand go by, or does your business go by? You need to work on that. Then you need to work on your brand's purpose, mission, and core values. Very important. You need to also work on your brand messaging, which happens to be the language that your brand uses. So that once that language is used anywhere, people will say, oh, yeah, this is coming from this place. You understand? What about your brand differentiation? What is that? What are those unique things? They call them USP, unique selling point. What are those things that are unique to you, that stands you out, or that gives you that distinction from other people? What are those things? You need to define them. What are those things? You need to define them. Like in my academy, for example, Limitless O1 Academy, all right, we train you to stand out. An interesting thing about our training is that we not just only train you, we deploy you, and we also monitor what you do. And we'll not just leave you at monitoring too. We also recognize what you do. That's the reason why sometimes in the year we just recognize some people by awarding them for the things that they're doing around the world. And most of them, it comes to them as a shock, because we're not just interested in just collecting your money, we're also interested in making impact, because we see you as an extension of our impact, So when you are making impact, by extension, we're making impact through you, because you are making impact by virtue of what we have trained you on. And so by virtue of that training, you're making impact. And since you're making impact, one sure way of encouraging you, one sure way of showing that what you're doing is important or that you're on track, we also award you. We also reward you. We reward you by recognizing your efforts. Do you understand? So that's actually what differentiates us from other people. While others don't care about what you do afterwards, we care. We care about what you do afterwards. All right. So that's what makes us different from others. What about the brand experience? The experience you give to your customers and clients is very important. So you need to pay attention to those things. Pay attention to your identity, the purpose and the mission, the core values. Pay attention to the messaging. Pay attention to the differentiation. Pay attention to the experience. Pay attention to the experience. So you have been given the tool that you can work with to be able to build a value-driven brand. Because like I said, if you want your brand to become valuable, you need to build a value-driven brand. And so you have been given the keys to build it. All right. So what should you do right away? Number one is for you to review your entire brand. That's the first thing you can do right away. The second thing is for you to get the professional help that you need. The next thing you can do is for you to make the necessary adjustments. And the last thing you can do is to begin to implement. Very important. Review. All right. Get professional help, make necessary adjustments, and begin to implement. I believe that when you do this, something about your brand will begin to shift towards just a regular brand to becoming a value-driven brand. And in no distant time, your brand will be quoted amongst the most valuable brands in the world. So the question I leave you with is, will you be one of those value-driven brands that the world is looking for? So thank you very much for investing this time. I trust you've learned something. All right. Should you have questions, feel free to use the comment section. Should you have maybe you have need to reach out to me, just let me know within the comment section. I'm more than glad for us to connect and also talk. My name is Simon Matthew, your business branding coach and consultant. Thank you so much for investing this time, and I look forward to seeing you again and again and again. Until we meet again, keep doing business, keep making profit, and very importantly, keep living the limitless life. This is King of Branding saying to you, have a pleasant time ahead. God bless you.